It's got that. Great. I'm the person who was out in the wagons today when it's 97 degrees outside. It's fantastic.
If she wouldn't have, like, there's somebody.
No, it was.
Spot. She's like, honey, we could have.
Started in Brazil.
Yep. Yeah. But you're here and you're not bothering me. So. Yeah. Sounds like Casey's boyfriend back.
The Bronzeville area businesses, they meet every Wednesday, like first Wednesday of the month. Well, Hayfield doesn't. Movie does, yeah.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. First order of business is roll call. Mr. Dankert.
Mayor King.
Present.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Present.
Councilmember Baskin.
Present.
Waller.
Present.
Postma.
Present.
Pashusta.
Present.
Fisher.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Looking for a motion adopting the agenda with the addition.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 2 is approving the minutes from our June 6th, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion also carries. Under item number 3, recognitions and awards. We have before us Representative Patty Mueller, who's going to speak on kind of the legislative session and give us some updates and what she came to learn. Welcome, Patty.
Well, good evening, councilmen and women. Thank you for the chance to be able to speak today. I have my button today. I was on the Friendship Wagon, which came to Austin today, which is raising money for the Special Olympics. They started in Brownsdale, and there were a caravan. I showed Chief McKeegan the caravan of horses and wagons, and in our 97-degree heat, we were in 4 hours from Brownsdale to Austin, and they're at the fairgrounds. So that was a blast, and I really enjoyed it. I was with Horsing Around out of Lyle, and that was really great. So Austin is getting noticed by the Special Olympics, and so thank you so much to the fairgrounds and all that they do out in the fair board. So this is just going to be a very quick update. I do appreciate you giving me a chance. As you know, and as I talked to several of you after, some of you at the chamber, the session ended in quite a bit of disappointment, and I know that Mayor King, you did go up to St. Paul, and I did talk to Councilman Baskin and Postma about the desire to have a special session. As a member of the minority and as not a chair or a lead of a committee, I don't have any actual input in any of those discussions, but I had heard that Senator Jeremy Miller kind of walked away from the table, and I don't know what all of that was, but and so it's disappointing and frustrating. I will tell you that for the first time in 10 years, I got your bonding request into for the wastewater treatment plant. I got you in there for 14.5, and some of you asked if we hadn't seen a bill. I'd seen the bill. You were there. You were project number 2 in Minnesota. And so my incredible advocacy, which I know sounds like bragging, and that's not what I'm trying to say, I just know so much that you needed it. And so the day did not go by that I talked to them about your bonding request. And so you were in the bill, and at 11:30 p.m. that very last night, it was pulled from the table by the majority party. And I went and I talked to, again, Mr. Postma and Mr. Baskins about what had happened and kind of the inside baseball with that. I'm disappointed, I'm frustrated, because with the surplus, I definitely wanted to see tax relief, and I wanted to see you guys have some one-time funding in some literacy and mental health, and to see your bonding request go through. It was a bonding bill that it looked like many people could get behind. The majority party pulled it because they wanted some more money for rapid bus transit. And so that was kind of the inside baseball for that. I am very supportive of going back into special session to pass a bonding bill or to do some tax relief, but I'm very uncomfortable with passing a lot of extra ongoing spending, which is what is kind of the rub right now, is that there's a lot, about 4 or 5 billion of ongoing new money spending. And with inflation that's happening, I'm concerned about what that would mean for us as a state. Other than that, as a first-termer, I've definitely been going around the district and listening and hearing from people around. I've been going to as many city council, just like I am here, and school board meetings. I was also at 4th Avenue Fest, which was a fantastic success. I was at Pride Fest, which was really exciting to see that finally that was able to get off the ground. I know that was something that they had been planning for a while. It's also really exciting to see New Tech and our new restaurant out in the Old Moose Lodge, the Thai restaurant that I know, Mr. Clark, you finally got a chance to taste, which was really great. And so I'm not done advocating to see if you can get your bonding. It's not one of those things where I don't believe if you will have to wait 2 years. I believe if I can get this, if we can shake some people, I believe we could try to get to you this year still, or next year early. But I know that at that point, I mean, you've been waiting for over a decade, and that's a long time to wait. And so I just want you to know the progress that I made as a minority member, trying to advocate for you. So if you have any questions, I would love to take any questions. Thank you for your support, and thank you for the time that you gave me today to advocate for you and to update you on anything that you have. So,
Representative Mueller, I'm going to attempt some humor here, and you brought the horses at the beginning. I'm just going to say this may be beating a dead horse, because we have spoken and folks have, registered their concerns, I guess, if you will. And I think the disappointment is with the leadership. Where that power lands there, us and the citizenry around the state,
100%.
We have a hard time delineating that or
I agree.
processing that that's how that system works. It's disappointing overall. So you unfortunately you're the target because we see you and you're here. But
and you should see me.
I think our disappointment is overall with the entire system, that when you have a $9 billion surplus and nothing gets done, and we are losers on that bonding bill.
Yes, you are.
We will be, but we don't have the luxury of waiting.
No.
The city, because if something goes wrong, we can't point fingers and say, hey, the legislature didn't do this or didn't do that. We just have to get it done.
Nope.
So nothing does.
And I agree, and I did on my end. I did get it done, and I got you in the bill, and I can't put the bill on the table. Yeah. And so I did my part as much as I can, and you should be frustrated. Yeah. And I said that during the chamber meeting, and people know, you should be upset. You should be upset. The system is broken, and you should be upset. And so I've given you several names on who to write to. And when I talked to Councilman Postma, he said that only one legislator got back to him. Yeah. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. I hope that you know that it's been different for me, that when you've contacted me, that I've gotten back to you. And so, again, you are the losers in this, and I'm glad that you're able to come and give me your concerns. And you should be upset.
Yeah. And I think along the way, kudos to Stephen and the engineering department for putting on what we were told was the best bonding presentation
100%
ever. So that was the comments from that whole busload of senators that came around. So, that's something. We got our story down. We're telling our story.
Yes.
It's just unfortunate that it ends the way it does. And
yes.
If this is truly the end, I'm sorry, that's the way it is. We still got to move forward with our bond, with our project.
And you should move forward. And that doesn't mean that we can't try again next year. And again, it's not much solace right now because of where you are right now. I just also know that, I will continue to advocate for you guys as much as I can.
Thank you.
So,
Council,
the ending of the session was very disappointing considering the surplus that we were looking at, that you were working with.
Yep.
It's almost like you do better with a deficit. the two parties can actually work together and get it figured out when there's a deficit, but when there's a surplus, they can't, and that's very, very, very disappointing. And from what I read, it seemed like both parties wanted the same thing, same target areas.
Sure.
They just disagreed on how to go about it, and that's very, very unfortunate for the citizens of Minnesota because we're the losers in it.
And I have said that publicly several times.
But I appreciate your efforts in getting us in the bonding bill.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Anybody else? Comments?
I guess I kind of would and I do appreciate the time that you gave us at the chamber, and this is maybe more for folks who don't know, but I guess since we had that meeting, it's sort of come out, I believe it was Senator Miller walked away and said, there's no special session at this point. And where I think my frustration, a lot of citizens' frustration lies in the fact that almost all of the oxygen in the room in St. Paul this year kind of got taken up on budgetary talks, which generally don't happen in an even year. This is generally a bonding year. Right. So had there not been this big surplus, I think the bonding bill would have gotten done. And where I'm having a hard time with everybody up in St. Paul right now is why we can't just, we can't agree on the $9 billion surplus, that's fine, but let's pass the bonding bill that is traditionally the work that the legislature does. Because the reality is with a $9 billion surplus right now, the citizens of Austin are about to pay $15 million more plus interest over the next 20 to 30 years of the life of a wastewater treatment plant.
Yep.
And so I would just encourage anybody, I know you give us some names and I've reached out to them. I know the chamber's pushing those names out. I still don't see a reason why if we can't agree on what to do with the surplus to just leave that alone.
Yes.
Until after November and do the bonding bill. So I appreciate that you are in support of that idea.
I'm definitely in support of that.
I wish that Senator Dornick was here, but I'm sure something came up. I would ask him the same. We understand what split, how it is with the split at the Hill. We've had split representation in Austin before where one person was in the majority and one in the minority, and things have gotten done in the past.
Correct.
And so we're disappointed not to see it happen this year.
I hear you. I hear you. And I know that that's something that for me in the position that I am right now, I can't fix, but I can also, again, advocate over and over and over again to do it, because I know there's a lot of people who would be on board with making sure we got the bonding bill done. Because you're right, this is the bonding bill year.
Yeah, and Representative Mbu, I mean, we very much appreciate the advocacy that you and Senator Dornick, bring to St. Paul and being our voice. And, obviously we share your frustration. If there's anything we can continue to do to help, amplify your message, we understand you're one of, a couple hundred votes, and there's bigger political things on both sides with leadership and the governor. But thank you for your advocacy, and we'll keep fighting with you.
Yep, good. Let's fight together.
Patty.
Thank you so much. And as always, if you need anything, reach out at any time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I should have apologized for Senator Dornick at the beginning. He called and said he wasn't feeling well because he worked out in this heat all day, so he was taking a pass and will probably come back before some other time. Thank you again, Representative Mueller. So moving on, we have a Juneteenth Proclamation I'd like to read. Whereas the United States of America is a nation founded on the principles of liberty and justice for all, and the Civil War was fought to ensure that freedom would be shared by all, and whereas on January 1, 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which abolished slavery, and whereas it wasn't until years later that the freedom became a reality for enslaved people in Texas, when this news of freedom reached Galveston, Texas on June 19, 1865, and is the site of the first celebration of Juneteenth. And whereas June 19th has a special meeting to African Americans and is called Juneteenth by combining the words June and 19th, and has been celebrated by the African American community for over 150 years. And further, Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Liberation Day, and Emancipation Day, is celebrated on June 19th and marks our country's second Independence Day, celebrating freedom and justice. Now therefore, I, Stephen M. King, Mayor of Austin, do hereby recognize, adopt, and proclaim this proclamation to urge all residents to become more aware of the significance of this celebration in African American history and in the heritage of our nation, and continue to work towards racial equality. Stephen M. King, Mayor. So that's the proclamation I'd like to read. I know some folks, at least my credit union in the cities, is celebrating Juneteenth by allowing the day off. Whether that, the federal system has declared it a national holiday, whether that becomes a state and local and other holiday, we'll see. We'll come to see. But I think it's great to draw attention to it, and so that's what I wanted to do with that proclamation. So, 4th of July presentation. We have folks with us that would like to come speak about the 4th of July. I hope it's not this hot. Please order different weather. Yeah.
Actually, I just hope it's not raining. I think I worry more about rain than I do heat.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead. Sorry, sir.
no, that's okay. My name is Sean McAllister, and I'm honored to serve as the president of the Austin Enhancement Group. And this is our second year organizing the 4th of July festivals. And We are absolutely honored to be a part of that. So we have our executive team here, Mary Ann Duran, Mark Bliss, and Taylor Bliss. And we've got a handout that's going around that kind of describes the festival this year. And this is our second year doing this, and so we're really excited to put this together and bring this back. I think it had a 1-year hiatus with COVID, and so we want to make sure that the party continues. So let me introduce Taylor Bliss, and she can go through some of the exciting things we have going on this year. So thank you for having us.
Thank you, Sean.
Good evening, my name is Taylor, and I'm the treasurer of the Austin Enhancement Group. As you know, the Chamber for many, many years organized the Freedom Festival. And after they decided not to do that part of it anymore, and then COVID came, and then we were gonna be in 2021 without a festival. So some of us got together and put one together as best we could under the restrictions we had at the time, and after that, decided that moving forward, it would be best to fall under an umbrella of a nonprofit. So we have created the Austin Enhancement Group. It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and it will be the umbrella organization for Austin's Freedom Festival. So we are back this year, 2 days. We have tons of kids events. We've had amazing support from the community and from businesses. It's been it's one of our absolute favorite community events, and we are honored to be a part of putting it together. So we are really excited that it is coming together so well. And questions about the 4th of July?
You know, it always amazes me how highly organized it is, because it's quite a feat to put this on, and so we appreciate what you guys do for it. And it's also amazing how many people turn out.
Yeah.
You know, I've pulled a float in the parade for the last 15 years, and it is amazing that they're 6-8 deep, curb to the businesses all the way down the whole place.
Yeah.
It also amazes me that people come a day or two early to put their chairs and their blankets on the boulevard, and that they're still there, by and large, still there on parade day. But I know for a fact that Joyce Pachusta does come around and take a few home with her. So if they are missing some of those lawn chairs, it might be in Joyce's bag. But those are 3 amazing things, that the amount of people that love the parade and stand in that heat, you know, whatever it is. And so we appreciate putting on
Yeah.
the celebration.
Absolutely, and I will just make one clarification. So the Chamber of Commerce is still doing the parade aspect of it. So they're organizing the parade. The YMCA is doing the mini piggy, and all of the events held down in the park themselves are kind of what fall under our umbrella. So
Is the bouncy house going to be there?
bouncy houses.
Councilmember Fisher was asking about that.
Yes, bouncy houses, both days. And thanks to such generous, amazing support that we've gotten from the community this year, they're going to be, it'll be lots of bouncy houses, petting zoos,
Lots, Paul.
pedal pulls, and all of those things for the kids will be free. So,
Great. Thank you for what you do. It's an amazing celebration, so thank you very much.
great.
Looking forward
If
to
you
it.
ever have questions, I'm absolutely happy to answer them. So.
I just want to say that the reason I took the chairs is because Steve sent out an email, and instead of asking for certificates, he asked for lawn chairs.
Thank you. Now I recall it correctly. Thank you, Joyce.
Oh, no, thank you very much, guys. I mean, this is, growing up in Austin, when you think summer, you think 4th of July celebration, and now, raising kids here, that's kind of the same thing. It's the parade, it's the band show, it's the park activities, and so it's great that you guys have, as concerned citizens, kind of put together all the time and energy to make it a great celebration. So thank you. We're a better community because of your efforts.
Right on.
One more thing to add. So we are, one of the, I guess I wouldn't call it a complaint, but one of the biggest issues that people have are the lines for all of the amazing food that we have. So we are still having all of our favorite food vendors where they normally are, but we're also putting, there are some new food vendors who are going to be there this year over on the west side of the park in the small parking lot near the pond. So, yep, so we'll have some on each side. We'll be able to spread it out, some by the kids, all the kids' events. But that was it sounds like a great idea, but it was kind of a feat to implement, and it took, it was a lot of moving parts, and we've had some amazing support there too between Park and Rec and the City of Austin and Jordan Drilling and Fox Electric, and the utilities to be able to put power over there, because without power, it's hard to have the food trucks. So that's been a big hurdle, but it has been going so smoothly. And again, all of the support from the community and putting that together to allow us to have extra food trucks on that side of the park, alleviate some of the crowds, help with the bunching up of people in the evening when everyone's trying to leave. But then also having infrastructure there for the rest of the year, for the rest of the community to use. So we sure appreciate that too, so.
Very good. Thank you. We also have the
I do
pillars
have
there,
an
too.
actual question, I guess.
Really? Tom, get that in the
was
minutes,
it-
please. There's actually,
Was it last year that we kind of put a halt on the mosquito spraying? Are we going to be doing that before that event this year? Because I know that's usually
get Stephen go. He's got the
pretty
mic.
crazy.
What do you got, Mr. Lang?
As
As
dry
part
as
of
it's
my
been.
after report, but yes, I did
Oh.
reach out to our company that we normally utilize. We did not spray last year with the dry temperatures or the dry drought that we had, but I did reach out to them. Haven't heard back yet, but we'll look to try to get a couple sprays scheduled before the 4th of July.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Stephen. And thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to present. Moving on to item number 4, motion for the consent agenda. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Under bid opening and awards, number 5 is resolution receiving bids for the Oakland Avenue West Trail. Stephen?
Yes, we brought this to you a couple weeks ago at a previous meeting where we had one bidder that was way over our budget. We reevaluated things, and what we ended up doing was we pulled out the asphalt portion of the work. That allowed this project to then become more available to a second bidder. We worked with the two contractors, clarified a couple things, and got new quotes submitted for the project. Hansen Hauling and Excavating came in with a low quote of $137,170. So we would look to recommend award of the work to Hansen Hauling at this price that fits better within our budget. And then City Forces will do the asphalt paving, so there'll be some extra costs above and beyond Hansen's bid amount for us to purchase asphalt. In total, that comes to $165,870 of our $150,000 budget. The remaining funds would just come out of our street maintenance fund. So with that, we would recommend awarding this project to Hansen Hauling and Excavating. And again, the City Forces will do the asphalt paving of this trail.
Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate the creativity with getting that to make it happen. Council, any questions or comments for Mr. Lang? Without any, I'll take a resolution from number 5.
So move the resolution.
Second?
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Oh, good golly, it's audit report time. Motion number 6, approving the 2020 audit report. Tom?
At the last work session, Council received the report from our auditors, Clifton Larson Allen, giving us, once again, a clean audit opinion. We'd recommend council approval of such.
You don't want to take a deeper dive than that?
I've got 180 pages of audit report. I would love to go over with you if you have time.
Could we go page by
Page by page again, please. Thank you.
183.
Got a question. Looking for a motion for item number 6.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 7, reviewing modifications to a tobacco ordinance. It's a motion for item number 7A, preparation of the ordinance, and ordinance for number B, letter B, or adoption and publication of the ordinance. Chief McKeegan, do you have anything on this?
This is just a continuation or follow-up of what we covered at the work session. And have gone and made the changes, put them officially in the ordinance for your vote tonight.
Okay. Council, looking for item number 7A, a motion for preparation of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries. Item number 7B. You want, okay. Tom?
Okay, motion by Councilmember Austin, second by Councilmember Pashusta to approve the preparation of the ordinance. So an aye vote is in favor of such. Councilmember Baskin,
Nay.
Waller,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-1, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 7B is ordinance for adoption and publication of the ordinance.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin,
Nay.
Waller,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Mr. Byram, this ordinance would fail because it's not a unanimous vote in the first reading. Is that correct?
Yes, on the first reading, it's required to be a unanimous vote. So it would come back to the next meeting for a second reading, and then it can pass on a majority vote.
So ordinance fails because it's not a unanimous vote.
Okay, we'll bring it around next time. Thank you. Item number 8 is a resolution setting the mileage reimbursement rate as of July 1, 2022. Tom?
As gas approaches $40 a gallon, the IRS has decided it'd be wise to increase the mileage reimbursement rate per mile from 58.5 cents all the way up to 62.5 cents. So that 4 cents per mile, they figure, will make a difference in keeping individuals out of bankruptcy. So that being said, we'd request council approve a resolution increasing that rate to 62.5 cents.
How's that pickup truck working for you, Tom?
Not real well.
I was surprised it wasn't $1.
That's I read it twice. Is it like 240 or 204?
All right, well, appreciate that. So it go to 62 and a half?
Yes. Effective
July
July 1st.
1, yep. So looking for a resolution for that item number 8.
So move the resolution.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 9 is a resolution accepting these donations to the city of Austin, a gift of $1,000 from Ankeny Dairy Foods for the Farmers Market Stage Crank, $1,000 from the Morning Lions Club for the park maintenance donation, and $300 Morning Lions Club for a bike club donation, and $2,500 from Hormel Foods for also the bike club donation. With those, we certainly appreciate those benevolent folks and organizations looking for a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 10 is a resolution approving an ICM agreement with New Tech Biosciences. Stephen?
Yes, we have many other, 10 other ICM agreements with other industries throughout our community. This one is just a unique process in that working with New Tech located out in the Creekside Business Park, they flow through 2 lift stations and about 4 miles of gravity sewer just to get down to the wastewater treatment plant. So there's a great deal of investment involved with infrastructure to serve their business. But outside of that, we want to regulate strength as part of this ICM agreement, along with flow. Those strength parameters would be BOD, TSS, and TKN. As you are likely aware, we give them a baseline amount that is 200 milligrams per liter that accounts for normal household use. So they pay strong waste for everything above that. So in their ICM agreement that's attached for you, you see the parameters there for flow of 30,000 gallons per day is their maximum limit. Because they go through those lift stations, we want to make sure that they're not taking up all of the capacity of our our Creekside Industrial Park. We also have set a limit of 200 pounds per day for CBOD. And then those 2 limits for TSS and TKN set at 50 pounds per day. Those equate to that 200 milligrams per liter. So that's really a residential household threshold there. So we don't expect strong waste when it comes to those 2 parameters. So it's mainly flow and BOD that we're looking to regulate from this facility. They have as part of their construction plan, they've put in some EQ tanks, so that allows them to store some flow when they're doing high production and then discharge it during low periods of time to help with, more of a consistent flow pattern. That's really what we're looking for at the treatment plant and with our system. So they've worked through that process. So with that, we would recommend adopting this 6-month agreement, and then we'll revisit it as they work through their startup program to determine if we need to make any adjustments to the ICM agreement this December, and then look to enter into a more multi-year ICM agreement after that. Any questions?
Very good. Council, any questions, comments? And Honorary Councilmember Yanger, we're going to ask you to repeat all that back to us later on. Thank you, Mr. Lange. Looking for a resolution item number 10.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 11A is authorizing the creation of a joint airport zoning board.
Jasby.
Molly?
Yeah, Mayor and council members, the next phase of our airport zoning update is to establish the Joint Airport Zoning Board, otherwise known as the JASB. Thank you all for your efforts in finding sub-representatives for the city. I think it was Councilmember Baskin, Postma, and Mayor King, and anyone else who participated. We really appreciate the effort. It's really important. This is driven by statute and by MnDOT. There isn't, in my understanding, a lot of flexibility in what kind of zoning can go around the airport, but it's really important that all the jurisdictions impacted by the zoning update be represented on the JASB to whatever extent possible. And we did have responses from Mower County, Lansing Township, and Red Rock Township. Austin and Wyndham declined to make appointments. The proposed resolutions appointing the representatives to the JASB, establishing the JASB, and relieving the city of the requirement of appointing representatives from the jurisdictions that chose not to participate are attached. And if you have any questions, let me know. This is something that Stephen's department and mine are working on together. So if you have any questions or follow-up, you can contact either one of us.
Thank you, Holly, and also thank you, Jason, because he gave me the names, Greg Wortherms and Rick Stoll, and I'd say that they were overjoyed to serve as a stretch, but they were certainly willing to serve. So they're both Hormel pilots, and we appreciate having their expertise on this board. So with that, we could need a resolution for item number 11A.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thanks. Item number 11B is a resolution authorizing the municipality to zone areas around its airport. Holly, anything more on this?
This is just part of the same process. So we're establishing the JASB, and then we're appointing the representatives, and then also establishing the JASB, which will shepherd the creation and update of the zoning around the airport, although final decision would be the city council.
Thank you. Council, any questions for Holly? Regarding 11B, looking for resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 12 is granting the Planning and Zoning Department the power to contract for the removal of junk and/or illegally stored vehicles at the following locations. Motion for item number 12A. The address is 1802 3rd Street Northeast, the Andry property. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 12B is a motion at the address of 701 10th Avenue Southeast, the Hoffman Gross property. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Moving on to citizens addressing the council. Are there any citizens here that wish to speak to the council that wasn't on the agenda? Oh, okay, hearing none. Honorary council member comments. Stephen Yanger, welcome back for your second meeting. Any comments on the second time around?
Just as smooth as the first.
Attaboy, love those comments. Thank you. Reports and recommendations. Craig.
Thank you, Mayor and members. We did receive 3 applicants for the Ward 1 vacancy, Ren Van Voot, Steve Barrett, and Jeff Baker. So we have the July 7th meeting scheduled at 5:30, and we'll get their packets out to you and see you on the 7th.
Thank you. Anybody else have?
Yes, Julie Kleinfelter and Stephen Lange have some items.
You want to wrestle for it? Julie? No. Julie?
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right. Mayor and council members, good evening. Thank you for, no, I guess I don't need to thank you. I do get to do announcements. I just forget that sometimes. Summer reading is, well, sorry.
You can thank
Summer
us anytime
reading,
you
It's been a
want.
long day.
Thank you for the announcement. It's a meeting.
Thank you. Summer reading has started. Hopefully all of you know about the summer slide and the importance of getting kids to read during the summer. COVID made that really difficult, but we are 2 weeks in and we've had over 450 kids sign up for summer reading. Awesome. What that means is they all got free books. Mm-hmm. They've gotten things that they can keep track of their reading, and then they bring them back at the end of the summer and we give them more prizes for that. So there's a little encouragement for that reading piece. We have a lot of great programming going on this summer, but what maybe the library staff is even more excited about this summer is our newest addition to the library staff. This is Sally Olsen. She is our youth services librarian. Today is her first day, and Sally comes to us.
to a council meeting. Awesome.
Yeah. Sally comes to us with a master's degree in library and information science from St. Kate's, and we are really, really excited to have her joining our team and super looking forward to what she'll be able to help us with in not only this summer, but future years. So that's what we had today.
Welcome, Sally.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Mr. Lange.
Wastewater treatment plant update.
Hey.
We have been, we're up to 48 plan holders. I think I mentioned at the last meeting, is hoping for 50. We are hearing information back as they look to work through this monster of a plan and specifications that they need more time. So we are planning to move the bid date back 2 weeks from June 28th back to July 12th to accommodate subcontractors evaluating their process, putting their costs together, getting those submitted to the prime contractors and so on. So that will be happening. Also, I hope to have at the first council meeting in July, so right after the 4th, hope to have some scenarios for you of, looking at inflation, trying to estimate what we think a project cost is going to be, and then taking that back to how are we going to fund it, what level of increases are we going to likely see for our residents based on what we touched on earlier, the lack of bonding dollars for the project and also the inflationary cost increases. So it won't, of course, it won't be set in stone until after we get those bids, but we hope to give you something to kind of start thinking about and chew on a little bit of what those rate increases could look like. So that'll be hopefully coming at the July 5th meeting. We also just want to put kind of a little bug on your radar that we may need a special council meeting on August 11th. So if you recall when we talked about scenarios for how we can reduce the contractor risk and things, and part of that was the contractor needs to hold their bid for 30 days. Well, if we open bids on July 12th, 30 days is August 11th. That doesn't hit a council meeting very well, and we have a lot of information that we need to pull together in that 30 days. So if we can get everything pulled together, August 11th is a possibility that we may be asking for a special council meeting to avoid a 30-day inflationary cost increase to those bids. If our planning and pulling everything together takes longer than 30 days, the next milestone would be about September 10th or so. And that falls close to our September 6th regular council meeting after Labor Day. So we feel that that'll fit in just fine, but I just wanted to put a little bug in your ear. We may be needing something that week, second week of August, with our first council meeting in August being on August 1st. So just wanted to have you think about that. And those are the things that we're working on as part of the treatment plant project, and we'll hopefully have more for you to review at work session on July 5th.
Excellent.
Any questions?
Good news, you got more people that are taking the plans.
Yep, slowly getting a few more stragglers, yes.
Great. All right, council, anything for Mr. Lange on that matter?
Just a thank you for working through it. I know it's a monstrous project, obviously, on that end, but it's not like you just started this. So thank you to you and Mitch and everybody who's obviously doing a lot of work on this.
Right on. All right, Joyce.
Just a big thank you to Stephen for making us proud at state level with his presentation. Sounds like he did great. And also to the city staff for another great year on an audit.
Okay. Thank you, Joyce. Mike?
It is summer, and
Really, I
so
noticed.
as such, we've got,
Definitely is.
I just want to say kudos to everybody involved with two amazing events that I was able to go to. The 4th Avenue Fest was like the most picturesque, perfect summer day. I saw tons of folks out there. Thank you to the Arts and Culture Group, to the Park and Rec Department for all their work putting that together. Just tons of folks. Everybody was having a great time. I was really impressed with the Pride event and the amount of folks that came to that for the first ever one. I got to meet people from across the region who came to Austin for that event, so that is really cool. And along those lines, coming up this weekend, I know the Hormel Institute has a big bash going on. They've got tours in the morning, and they're out at the fairgrounds in the afternoon and evening celebrating their 80th anniversary. So get outside.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jeffrey?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jason?
Just want to recognize Austin Utilities. I mean, you think about how fortunate we are to live in a situation where it's, 95 degrees right now, and we're not worried about rolling brownouts. We're not worried about the ability to have a light work on or not, so knock on wood.
Yeah,
but,
please do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that comes with a lot of, proactive work and planning and making sure that we've got reliable electricity. So thank you, Austin Utilities. We appreciate it.
Okay. Paul?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right. With that, looking for a motion to adjourn to our meeting, which is Tuesday